was a student. I just came from another country. It was a very difficult time with a lot of uncertainties. As you get rejected, the frustration just like increases and you say like, I'm not going to be able to make it. And I think it was the lack of trust. I remember speaking with the recruiter and saying like, just give me the opportunity.
Meet Andrea Rosales. She's an AI governance leader, co-founder of the Mosaic AI community, and one of the top 50 tech women in the UK. But when she first landed in Scotland, she had a scholarship with no money to live on. She couldn't get her student loan approved. She was rejected for different jobs, but she didn't give up. Today, she's shaping how we build responsible AI for the future. This is Andrea Rosales' story.
I'm a Nigerian coming to the UK to study either PhD or MSc. What are the things that I need to get prepared for if I know I want to apply for Global Talent Visa in the next 2 years?
There are two important requirements to apply for the UK Global Talent Visa. One is to have, the other one is to have like...
Well, let's say I want to apply now. I already know what to do with what you just said. Thank you so much for that. I have these 3 career pillars for everyone in the tech who want to get either their first job offer. The number one is the technical excellence. It's for you to know the technical part of it. The second pillar is
take the risk or lose the chance. So maybe the first time you fail, let's try a second time. If the second time fails, okay, it failed, but don't give up. It's worth it.
Thank you for joining us, Andrea. So before I start, let me ask you this first question. From your scholarship, it didn't cover the living cost, and your visa only allowed part-time work. Now, can you walk me through that actual week from that period? How did you manage that before you even get your first time job in Scotland?
To be honest, it was a very difficult time with a lot of uncertainties because the problem is back in Mexico, I applied for there was some kind of government support for all like students or professionals that want to study abroad. So it's some kind of student loan that you pay over time. But that by that time, even I passed like all the interviews and my application was successful, I couldn't receive the funding unless my sister that previously have received the same funding for her master degree in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
Repay the full loan because my dad couldn't be like a property guarantor for both of us. So when it was rejected, my dad said, okay, well, you have the scholarship, let's do it. We'll figure it out. I can support you for a few months. Maybe you need to find a job and all that. Like I said, I didn't want to work at university with the tutoring of marketing. I wanted to continue my journey in industry, especially because my last role was head of business intelligence. So I thought I have a lot of like to give to the UK in terms of experience and so on. So yeah, it took me around 6 months to find my first job, especially, because it's a part-time job, a very junior role compared to all my experience. I actually remember I went to Sainsbury's Bank and the person that was interviewing me, he was the manager of data science. And he said like, you should be applying to my role, And I was like, well, yeah, but I can only work 20 hours, So yeah, that was challenging. And yeah, first I found this a job in a Tesco in the call center, but it was just for 4 weeks. They needed extra support in analyzing the calls and that, so it was more like a temporary role. And then I found this job in a marketing company in Edinburgh called QueryClick, where I joined as a junior data analyst, and I was supporting analyzing the marketing campaigns and so on. But yeah, it was difficult because I was living in Dundee, so I have to come to Edinburgh 3 times per week. So that meant waking up 4:30 in the morning, take the train to Edinburgh, so I was like literally coding in the train for my PhD, reading research papers because yeah, it was more than a 1 hour train in the morning and also the same in the afternoon. So yeah, and I had my commitments at university and so on. So yeah, it was hard, but by that time, I feel it was like a great opportunity, especially to cover all my living expenses and to gain industrial experience. But then actually, this was like the foundation for my application for the UK Global Talent. Because while working here at Click, I had the opportunity to work in a research project with University of Edinburgh. It was a project funded by Innovate UK, and we developed an attribution model using neuronal networks. And later on, we wrote a paper about that and submitted that to a conference. So that was part of the evidence that I presented for my application.
Now, what you just said made me to reconfirm that for every immigrant in the Western world, we don't need to do many a job, even immigrant international students. Because in your own case, you started in the industry and you were able to secure a part-time, because a lot of people we have this mindset as an immigrant that okay, whenever you get to UK, you need to do some menial job. Even
Mm.
though no matter the experience you have in your own country. But I believe someone listening to this will be like, oh, that means I don't need to go in the route that people already laid down for me. That okay, I need to become a kitchen porter. I need to work in the warehouse. I need to do some certain job that's not even related to my existing experience because you did it. That means other people can do it. But can you help me to narrate how you were able to secure the first job? What did you do? What was your mindset that time?
Well, I was not able to secure my first job. I went to different interviews process, and I was lucky to get this one. And I was at some point like very frustrated to say like, just give me that opportunity, let me show you I can do this role, like. And I think it was the lack of trust. I don't know, from the recruiters or from the managers like performing
Yeah.
the interviews, because they cannot confirm my job experience back in Mexico, right? So there was maybe something that was not like, they knew that I moved to the UK to do my PhD.
Yeah.
But when I was talking about all my experience, of course, they could see that I had experience doing what I was saying, but
Yeah.
I felt it was some kind of trust, or maybe they say she was not going to be able to do it, with the PhD or the workload. So some kind of trust. So I remember speaking with the recruiter and saying like, just give me the opportunity, right? He was the one that got the job for me in this marketing company. His name is Henry. So, I was like so confident that I could do it. And, I said like, if at some point I feel it's too much, I'll be honest and let you know. But I just wanted to work and of course like gain money for my living expenses and so on. But yeah, to be honest, is very difficult. And as you get rejected, the frustration just like increases, and you say like, I'm not going to be able to make it. And to be honest, one day I think I called my parents. I told them like, I'm thinking of working in this restaurant that is just here in the. And my parents were like, what? No, don't give up. Like just keep going. Because yeah, sometimes when you see like all the doors are closed, it's like, okay, what I'm going to do next, and you start planning for a plan B. But yeah, my parents just told me like, no, 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 like my dad told me I can keep supporting you, just keep looking for a role where you feel like you can do it confident and that supports you. And I think that's part of leadership, right? Where you can create that environment for other ones to succeed, regardless of their background. So I was a student, I just came from another country. Just give me that opportunity and I'll show you I can do whatever you ask me to do. So I think it's just that, like, there could be like many other sentences, but never give up. Yeah, I remember before I moved to the UK, my mom gave me a small wooden frame that read, take the risk or lose the chance. So she told me, I want you to put that in the wall of your new flat
Wow.
there in Dundee.
Wow.
And I think those words really stay with me. And I say, okay, I'm just going to take the risk, whatever it is. I'm going to try. Because if you don't try, you don't know what's going to be the outcome, right? And you can change outcome. So at least just give it a try and see what happens.
I can sense the impact of good parents in your journey.
Mhm.
Wow. Because sometimes some people wish they had that kind of support or that kind of push. Okay, they should not give up. In my own case, because I entered UK, I didn't have the mindset that you had then. My own mindset was okay, I need to do some jobs for me to survive because I came here to do my master's degree and I started applying for this support role. I was even rejected and I applied for kitchen porter just to wash dishes in the kitchen. I was like, it's not just to wash dishes. That shouldn't be difficult to get. I just need to get some money. And unfortunately, I was rejected to wash plates. I was like, for real, in the UK, you guys
Mhm.
rejected people to wash plates. And a day later, I was called back that okay, they want to give me the opportunity to see if I can wash plates very well. Lo and behold, I took the opportunity. In my mind, I was okay. It's like I am to start afresh in Scotland. I'm to start my
Mhm.
whole life afresh. And then that moment that people divert from their existing career into another career entirely, but I was lucky to be able to meet some people that gave me the right orientation about okay, don't forget about what you had in plan. Start working towards it. Don't wait till you finish your master's degree before you start looking for the job or before you start building your professional career in the UK. And I took the advice. I started working towards it. I dedicated 50% of my time towards my MSc and 50% of my time towards my career development in the UK. And to cut the long story short, I stopped applying for jobs when I was still a student because I received a feedback from a company that they know I'm passionate about data and they know I do the job. But the only reason they don't go ahead with me is because I was still a student, couldn't do the full-time job. So
Mhm.
at that point, I was like, okay, I think I'm ready for the UK market. Now, let me start pushing the other career pillars that I need to do, which is the content creation aspect. Like I'm not applying for any more job.
Mhm.
Let me just keep on pushing out content. I need to be more strategic and be visible so that the right people can see me. Because now, imagine you have dream A and you were able to cross the dream A, then you now step to dream B, C, D. So I was like, okay, I need to target I. Then I started targeting
Mhm.
JP Morgan Chase. And okay, if I could do this, that means I should be able to get my job offer before I even finish my MSc program. And lo and behold, it happened. But it happened with a lot of work, hard work,
Mhm.
sleepless nights, coffee, and everything. But now, in your own case, what made this different is that almost a little that you should have ended up working in a restaurant, and that might have changed the whole narrative entirely because sometimes if you didn't get the support that you got, the story may be different now. But
Yeah.
I let me use this opportunity to thank your parent too for giving you
Mhm.
for that aura to keep pushing forward. And for anyone watching this, um, just believe that your experience in your home country is not a waste. In any country you land yourself, just keep pushing. It may be hard. We are not saying it's going to be easy. It may be hard and tough, but
Yeah.
just keep pushing. Don't give up. Like Andrea didn't give up, and yeah, she is making waves and revolutionizing AI
Mhm.
governance in the industry. Yeah, thank you very much. Now, you said you contributed to Innovate UK project and publish research papers during this period. On top of everything, what is the specific moments you can point to where things started to turn right?
Well, I was always interested, like I said, in modeling human behavior,
Yeah,
right? And especially with LLMs to understand how LLMs, are making
yeah,
decisions, how reliable those decisions are, and what's the
yeah.
impact of those decisions, like in people, in society in general. So I think my interest, um, interest in AI governance started just after the release of ChatGPT.
Yeah,
When I started seeing like lots of people just like taking for granted all the AI outputs, like if they were just fact without even questioning them. So yeah, after like years of experience in academia, researching about these models and so on, and then I saw how people were using it in the industry to write statements of work, client proposals, and so on without validating those outputs. I started feeling very worried. And first, I was like concerned about critical thinking. So I actually did some research and wrote an article about how the use of AI can affect our critical thinking. And then that led me to think about younger generations. So I have a daughter, she's 3 years old. So I really focus on her, and my concern was on her because for us, this generation, we have a before and after the use of AI tools. So somehow we know how to say, okay, should I trust this output? Yes or no? And we have that ability, to look in other sources of information, validate those outputs. But younger generations are going to grow with these tools. So we need to teach them how to use them responsibly, how to use their critical thinking to say, like, no, I shouldn't be trusting this, or I should do things differently. So then I started like more investigating about the risk of using AI tools, the impact on younger generations, and I started contributing to the AI community in general, attending AI governance meetup. I actually, with one of my colleagues, we created this community called Mosaic. So our idea is just to talk about AI safety, AI risk, and to make all this risk available to people. Like to create conscious of what could happen if we don't use them in the correct way, or if we don't include all the voices that need to be there to shape AI in general. So I think that is, I could say it was like 2 years ago when I decided to change a bit the scope of my career, not just to build AI solutions, but to build AI solutions that work in benefit of people. So because I started thinking, like we build all these models based on data, like all the data we scrape from the internet and so on. But behind that data, there is someone history, like there is a person, there is a vulnerability, there is someone that build that data for you, for the one that are training these AI models. So when I build my solutions, I think about this. So I bring like a human-centered mindset to think about like, okay, if something goes wrong, who gets most affected, right? So I think that is when I start shaping a little bit more my career and working with people, like for the people. Mhm.
That's that resonate with me and so make a lot of sense because a lot of people, companies are making use of this, and like you said, if care is not taken on teaching people how to use AI responsibly, it will cause a lot of havoc in the future. And what we call future maybe tomorrow, you don't know because now we all know that we can't chase the AI world anymore. It's already there. People are here to adopt it. And now the AI security aspect, the governance aspect should be what the government, the world is actually spending their time on because I think I saw a post this morning on YouTube that GPT 6.0 goes wrong. Imagine
Mhm.
that. How do we make sure this thing don't go out of hand? This is interesting topic that um, people like you are working on, and we want to give appreciate you for putting more effort and trying to help the, the whole world as a whole. Now, I know you got endorsed by technician talent visa. I've seen a lot of immigrants trying to get this visa, but they do get rejected. You understand? So my question is this: what did you do differently after you realized qualifications alone weren't going to be enough for you to be sponsored or endorsed by technician?
There are two important requirements to apply for the UK Global Talent Visa. So one is to have research publications, like academic publications to important journals, and the other one is to have like experience or prevent like a real impact in the industry, right? So when I was working in QueryClick, I have the opportunity to collaborate with University of Edinburgh in this attribution model. So that was one of the evidence that I used for my application, because it was not only a model that was going to, like improve things internally in the company about like how we attribute marketing spend to different social media platforms, but it was also a way like to contribute to general like the marketing industry on how to do things, how to monitor things. And the second one was with a project I collaborated. It's called it's an insurance company called Tapley. They are based in London. So the first project we worked together, it was also related to marketing. They wanted to see how people were like quoting their insurance products, and if there was something that we could improve in their user journey and so forth. So that project, we didn't publish anything, but it was a collaboration with Innovate UK. So those were like the two pieces of evidence that I used in my application process. And I can see like, I've been supporting students in their visas applications. And I think that's a gap that I usually see, that students, like, for example, for master degrees or a PhD, that they don't have this industrial experience, maybe because, they cannot find a job in the industry or any other reason. They don't have this impact or evidence to show for their applications. And I have an example of a colleague I worked with during my PhD. He's a professor at University of Dundee. His application got rejected because he didn't have this impact in the industry. Mm-hmm. And also one colleague at work, he can apply to the UK Global Talent Visa because he doesn't have any research publications. So he did his master's degree here, but he hasn't published any paper. So for example, in my case, I told him, okay, let's work on a research paper. You don't need to be in a university to do that, right? So we're working together in a research paper so I can help him have something published and so he can apply, and so I think that's something important, when you are working as a student, if you can find something where you can apply your skills in the industry and contribute to the UK environment in terms of technology, AI, data science, I think I will just encourage everyone to do that, especially if they want to apply to the UK Global Talent Visa, because it opens you doors like otherwise you wouldn't be able to get with other type of visas, right? So I can see that's the gap. And I think I didn't know about that visa when I moved to the UK, but I think all my journey with my financial circumstances and having to find this job led me to where I am now. So yeah, I was perhaps lucky to be there, but
Because
Mhm.
I was about to ask you that were you aware of the visa when coming to the UK, or what made you towards applying for the visa? And I think you already answered the question, because I also applied for this visa in 2024. I was rejected, and I think I know why. Even with what you just said now, I didn't start gathering my evidence earlier. And another one is I didn't have any published paper or research paper. You understand? But I was able to gather some evidences and the farm bob based on feedback they sent to me. And I think that one is the core evidence that I missed out. Also the UK experience as of then, I wasn't wasn't in my evidence list. But now, how or what should a new immigrant, coming to the UK, should they start preparing their mind towards it, or how can they even prepare? Let's say I'm a Nigerian coming to the UK to study either PhD or MSc. What are the things that I need to get prepared for if I know I want to apply for global talent visa in the next 2 years?
I think something important is to be visible, right? Because not visible in the sense of, it's like seeking people approval or just building like a personal brand. It's more like if you come here to pursue a master degree, a PhD, you can become expert in your field, but also contribute that to the rest of the
Industry.
community.
Okay.
So it could be even like participating in networking events, speaking, public speaking, at some tech meetups, that kind of thing. So the idea is that you need to get involved in the industry because what they are looking for is for people that can contribute to the UK's growth, like depending on the area that you apply. So I'm talking about AI, how I have contributed to the AI. It could be through my research papers, like all the industrial experience that I have and the impact that I have there. But if you come to the UK, I think you should start doing that and documenting that. Like networking with people that are already well established in the industry, seeking for opportunities, even if it's just like an unpaid work. There are some voluntary options. So, for example, there is yesterday I saw in the UK government they are seeking for some evidence of industry cases where AI governance went wrong. So that is unpaid work, but it's something that you can contribute to the UK government to take actions, right? So it's always about like seeking those opportunities, even if it's not paid. It would be better if it's paid, right? But at least you can start gathering information on how like your experience, your knowledge is it's in benefit of the growth of the UK in your sector.
Even me myself, I think if I want to, let's say I want to apply now, I already know what to do with what you just said. And thank you so much for that. You remember you mentioned that you were the only immigrant in one company that you worked for, and you had
Mm-hmm.
to manage Scottish people, and now
Mm-hmm.
then you push diversity and inclusion program through with the CEO and the HR team who already tried that and they couldn't do it. So I wanted to know how you made your first pitch conversation with them.
Okay, yeah, I actually tried that in the previous company I was working
Yeah,
for. We didn't have like a DEE committee or something.
yeah,
So, yeah, I think it takes a lot of work, and sometimes it makes you feel frustrated that you don't get like that sponsorship from the senior leaders, right, in doing things, and that you sometimes face like blockers instead of support. So when I pitched the idea to the CEO, first he told me, yeah, that's great, let's do it, So I started doing some activities. First I created like a channel where
yeah.
people could share like things that happen in their own country. So I remember I launched this channel at the end of October. So it was almost going to be the 2nd of November. And in Mexico, we celebrate the Day of the Dead. So I just kick off the conversation with that and encourage people to start like sharing something like festivities or important dates from their own country. And yeah, it happens. Like people share some things. But at times, sometimes I have just to ping people and say, hey, I know you are from this country. There is this important date. Can you post something? And I say, like, I draft something for you. If you want to change it, just feel free. And I start getting some participation in there. We also, as part of this committee, we launch a mentorship program. So yeah, I found a guest speaker. I found someone in the company that was also interested in mentorship. So yeah, we combine our ideas. We say, okay, let's do this. We pitch the idea to the CEO, and yeah, we launch the mentorship program. But then, as things start like growing, like the CEO told us, you need to align with HR. That's something that you shouldn't be doing, like you need to be focusing on billable work for our clients and so on. So if all these activities are taking time from you, like from billable, well, you shouldn't be doing it. Your priority is the other things. So that is when you start like feeling like frustrated when after doing a few activities, it's like, okay, they push you back and it's like, but I think that the thing with me is that I don't give up, because I need representation. I need to people feel heard, especially like in a team where we were only like 20 women out of 130 men. So, like you want to shout out about the amazing work these women are doing. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I actually remember for Women International Day, I create a video telling our story, just very short things of what we do, what we're passionate about, and so on. Then I got like marketing support to edit the video and do something better, But, the thing is to keep pushing to do all these things. And I think people really appreciate that, because they want to feel that they belong to something, that especially when you work remotely or all these remote jobs, sometimes you feel like you don't have a team or everything is so virtual. But if you have these activities, like even some meetup, launch and learn and things like that, it makes you feel part of something, so a community. And when you're an immigrant, you value those communities, right? Because it's not like you have your family next to you. You have your family 5,000 miles away from here. So you as a human, I think we have the need of creating communities and feeling we belong to something. So I think that's the importance of these committees and these initiatives. So perhaps it was part of my need to to feel that I belong to something, and that's why I promote it. But I think a lot of people just feel the same way, but they don't take the time to do that. But of course, that take extra time from your day to day. So
Yeah, I agree with you totally. And seriously, because I do say this to people that if you're an immigrant, you need to make sure you look for communities to join, because
Mhm.
this is where you will feel have the sense of okay, your voice is being heard. You see people like you, even if people that their stories related to you, you network, you get information from them, and not just community of people in your color, in other races, join them, yeah, them because this is what helped me boosted my career even till now. I tried Black Professional. Then it was Black Professional Scotland, but now, uh, yeah, Black Professional United Kingdom. I met with Fash, who is the founder of the Data Cake. So, meeting a lot of people in the Scotland space, people that I know, okay, these are the senior leaders there. They are also immigrant. They started like, where I was then and see where they are. So a lot of things that I could learn from them that I met with them. Okay, they told me what to do, what not to do, how to go about it, even in the entrepreneurship journey. And for anyone watching this, please don't just go to school, come back and go to work. Network. Go out, let people know if you have existing career, let them know you, be visible, like Andrea said, be visible. Let the right people know that you exist. Let them have evidence of your work, even if they want to refer you, they have something to back it up. Get like, okay, this person can do this thing very well, and there is one opportunity here because now most companies already adopted diversity and inclusion programs. Even those startups that are coming in, they won't have any choice. They still need to adopt it. So that means there will be a lot of opportunities for everyone. And like you said, I like it when you said that you don't give up. I think that is your superpower. That is keep pushing you forward and for everyone, please don't give up. No matter where you are, just know that where you are does not determine your tomorrow. Just keep going. You understand? So if someone is exactly where you were, PhD, visa restricted, no local network, struggling to find any job, what are the three things that you would tell them to actually do this month?
Just to get out of their comfort zone, like because to be honest, like all these things that I do, like for example, the podcast, the public speaking, is not something that comes like easy from me, like if you ask me, what do you prefer to do, like public speaking or write an article, I will say I prefer to write an article, right? But being visible is part of that, like engaging with other people. And that is when you need to get out of your comfort zone and do like something. Yeah, just take, like my mom told me in that little frame, just take the risk or lose the chance. And you're losing the chance of being visible, of people knowing who you are, what's your value, what could be your contributions, and so on. So yeah, I think it's when I was mentoring one of my mentees, we put as a goal to do some public speaking. That was She wanted to achieve that. So we made a plan of how to do that, like baby steps, like maybe just create like an internal presentation like this, or maybe record yourself. Small activities she can do until she was feeling confident to do something with a wider audience. So yeah, I feel like someone that is just like into their routines of, like just going to work, back home, not talking to anyone, not engaging, that could have a lot of impact on your mental health, because we as humans, we need others, like to feel good, like socialize and so on. So yeah, it's so easy to go back home and just stay there. So I think we need to push us to do other things and to get out of our comfort zone. So even if it's something little, just join the next meetup that it's close to your home. Just walk 30 minutes, 20 minutes to the meetup, get some fresh air, join the meetup. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to socialize. Go back home. That's the first step. And as you will start doing that, it will get easier to get into the routine of attending these meetups. And I could speak that to myself because, like I said, I prefer to be writing an article than going to an AI meetup. But now I value so much that experience because I have met some amazing people that now they are my friends. Now we're working together in research papers, in publishing things in LinkedIn, like we built our community, we're organizing other meetups. So, like every time, like Edinburgh is so small that at the end you start meeting the people that are in the same
Yeah.
industry, in tech. So when you go to a meetup, you say, "Oh, I know this person," and they start building the relationships, and that opens so many doors. Like could be like a new job, like a new project, collaborations, whatever. So I would really encourage anyone to just try once. If you don't like it, that's fine, but at least you did, right?
Yeah.
And maybe the first time you failed, let's try a second time. If the second time fails, okay, it failed, but don't give up. It's worth it.
Yeah.
So,
Because everything you said, I can say I applied all the principles.
mhm,
There is an app called Meetup. So I downloaded the app. So
mhm,
even I can't count how many meetups I attended in Glasgow. Only there were a lot to the point that if I go to an event, there will be some people that already saw me in that event. They'll be like, that is the guitar guy. You understand?
mhm,
So, imagine that something like that kept happening, and they were like, I've seen you before. Okay, did you attend this event? I'm like, yeah, I did. Um, there is something about me. Anywhere I go to, if an event or something, I would try to make sure create awareness of myself in people's mind. That
mhm,
is how I do it. Imagine events, and there will always be an opportunity either to ask questions to or to contribute in one way or the other. And the first thing I always do is mention my name and what I do. You understand? Now imagine that you are talking among about thousands of people. That means 2,000 our eyes were on you. There's no way all of them will forget you that same day. And if they see you somewhere and be like, I've seen this guy before. You
yeah.
understand?
Mhm,
Imagine that you now attended a lot of events, you met with a lot of people, you built friends, you have people know you, people know what you can do, even when they haven't even discussed with you one on one before. Opportunity comes, say, be like, "Ah, I know this guy mentioned this, and I think he can do it." You understand?
Mhm.
And that is how easier to get things done in the foreign countries because you can't do it alone. You need people, and you need
Yeah.
people that know what you can do. Not that I know you. I need to know what you can do for me to be able to say, okay, I can refer you, I can recommend you to an opportunity. So for everyone listening to this, please put yourself out there because I have these three career pillars for everyone in the tech who want to get either their first job offer. The number one is the technical excellence. It's for you to know the technical part of it. Even it may be in the marketing, but you still need to have the domain knowledge. The second pillar is the strategic positioning. How are you positioning for the right people to see you? You understand? Because people building or learning all these data and AI skills, they only focus on the first pillar, which is the technical experience and excellence. And they will be complaining they are not getting the job, they are not getting the interview, what is going on, you understand? And the third pillar is the authentic networking. You understand? So the three pillars I always tell people if you want to get your first job offer as an immigrant in any country, make sure you fill the three pillars. Even if the technical excellence pillar is about maybe 7/10, and your second and third pillar is 10/10, trust me, you will get opportunities because people already know you, people know what you can do. And technical excellence is not something that you can learn everything. Market is evolving. There are new tools. The way we build dashboard using Power BI in 2019 is different from the way we are building dashboard now. There are new tools coming out. AI is there, Copilot is there. So it's revolutionizing the way we work. That is part of the technical excellence. But people focus on that and they leave us. And how to now fuel the other two pillars is what you mentioned. Being going out, being visible to right people, join community and everything. And this is a blueprint I wish I had immediately I got into the UK. And luckily for me, I was still able to get it before it got too late. And thank you so much for every listener. You have heard the story of Andre, how she came to the UK and how she has been going in her career. So that means if she can do it, you can also do it. When you get to the point of giving up, just remember that she almost gave up too, but she didn't.
Mhm.
Yeah, she is thriving in the tech space. And if you know that the story resonated with you, drop it in the comment section. Just always remember this that this is just the beginning. Your yesterday shouldn't determine your tomorrow. And you should keep working, keep going out, put yourself out there, be visible for the right people to notice you and see you and keep building. And also, thanks to our guest on the show today. We really appreciate your time. We appreciate everything that you have shared with us. Even me personally, I've learned a lot. Just
Mhm. Mhm.
trust me. Watching this, we also learn a lot of things from there. It will change uh, someone's career so that person will be able to stand later in life and share his own story that okay, if not because of this podcast, I wouldn't have known this. I would have came. You understand? But thank you so much. Yeah.